Very good. Okay, I think we can start slowly because I see people are still connecting, but that's okay. All right. Okay. Everybody can hear us, I understand. You can see us. Hello. Chat here. Okay. Can you see our presentation? Can you see the presentation? Everything is okay? Can we start? Hello. Yes, okay. Thank you, Judith. I see you're very shy today. Very quiet. All right. So, comencem. First, thank you for coming. Welcome. We're very happy to hear you and to see you here. Avui què farem? Presentarem phrasal verbs en una manera que pot ser que mai heu pensat. Però primer, abans de res, volem introduce ourselves. Yes? So, som Lu i Cas. Som un equip familiar apassionat per les llengües i el coaching. I com hem començat? Que pot ser que hi ha alguns de vosaltres que ens coneixeu de Hello, Hello Escola d'Idiomes, que des de 2005 ajudem persones de totes les edats a aprendre anglès d'una manera pràctica, natural i sense por. No sé si hi ha algú que ens coneix de Hello per aquí. És que fa molts anys que treballem amb Hello. Segurament hi ha algú aquí que ens coneix de Hello. Ok. També nosaltres treballem com training amb empreses. Bon vespre, Maria Josep. I amb training impulsa la comunicació empresarial amb programes lingüístics adaptats a cada sector i lloc de treball. Això que fem amb training. I ara, aquí, som Fluent English, que ens coneixeu com Fluent English, i aquí què fem? Fem webinars, formacions online, cursos online i podcasts. El nostre podcast, Fluent English with Lucas, si voleu escoltar, you can check it out on Spotify. Okay, about us. So I am Kaz, or some people also call me, well, my name is Kasia Martel, but people call me Kaz. I am the founder, the Hello and Training, i que fa més de 20 anys que ajudo estudiants i professionals a descobrir que anglès pot ser simple, pràctic i divertit.
And I'm Lou, or Luigi Martel. I'm originally from the United States, and I'm a director and coach as well. And I do everything in my power to bring clarity, energy, confidence to help my students speak, again, without fear.
Yes.
So that's what we're here to do.
Yes. La nostra missió, our mission, is ajudar-te a parlar anglès de manera clara, segura i natural. Very important.
Exactly.
All right. So, què farem avui? Això que espereu. Què farem? Primer, us ensenyarem la lògica que hi ha darrere dels phrasal verbs. Aprendreu 50 i més phrasal verbs sense memoritzar. Els practicarem. Després, al final, presentarem el nostre curs complet per aquests que voleu anar deeper, més allà. I al final us donarem uns bonuses. All right, ready? Let's start.
Yes, let's do it.
So, Lou, I would like to ask you to explain a little bit what phrasal verbs are.
Well, phrasal verbs are multi-word verbs. What does that mean? That means that you have one verb, but that you have two parts, two elements. You have the main verb, the principal verb, the main verb, and you have a particle. Now, this particle, partícula, can be a preposition, such as about or of, or it can be an adverb. Okay? An adverb is something like, for example, up, down, in, out. Okay? So that's what a phrasal verb is. Okay? Now, our method is special because we really focus on the particle. Now, I would say all teachers and all books, or most teachers, and every book focuses on the main verb when they teach phrasal verbs. But our method focuses on the particle. Okay? Why? Because the particle gives a lot of important information. The particle gives the main verb different nuances, different meanings, different ideas, which change the meaning of the overall verb. Okay? So if you understand the particle, you can understand hundreds of phrasal verbs instantly.
Yeah.
Okay? So one important thing when you want to really understand the logic of phrasal verbs is this idea of particle pairs, which is what we're going to do today. Okay? This is very important, especially when you want to very quickly understand hundreds of phrasal verbs. So today, again, we're going to give you a taste, and we're going to focus on a particle pair, which is two particles, up and down. Okay? There are many others. You could have on, off, in, out, and away. You have all sorts of different particle pairs. But tonight, we're going to focus on up and down. Okay? Now, why does this method work when you focus on particle pairs? Because you don't have to memorize phrasal verbs. What you do is you understand the logic behind them, and this is how we native speakers think. So this is very, very important. Okay?
Right. So today, what we're going to learn is 3 meanings of particle up, 3 meanings of particle down. Altogether, we're going to look at 50 plus phrasal verbs in context. We'll practice them and see the logic behind each one. Let's go. So let's look first at particle up.
Okay. So let's have a look there. Now, the particle up, again, the particle gives many nuances, many ideas, many meanings to the main verb. Okay. One of those main nuances is the idea of an upward movement. Yeah. Okay. Another nuance or another meaning that the phrasal or the particle up can give to the main verb is that of an increase, of an improvement. Okay. And another meaning or another nuance, another idea that the particle can give to the main verb is the idea of ending or of completion. When we say completion, we mean completely, totally. And we'll go more into that later. We're going to explain each one of these more. Okay?
Yes, these 3 meanings, we're going to look at them here in the webinar. However, in the course that we have prepared has more meanings.
Yeah, many more. Well, I mean, yeah, it has.
We only have certain amount of time here.
Of course.
All right, so let's first look at the upward movement. Upward movement.
So as we said, the particle gives the main verb, or the particle gives different nuances to the main verb, different meanings to the main verb. And as Kaz very correctly said, it does give this idea of an upward movement. Okay, one of the most common meanings or nuances or ideas that the particle up gives to the main verb is this idea of an upward movement, of moving upward. Okay, for example, standing up. If we say,
Sorry, Luigi.
yeah,
Lou, Judith is asking what upward movement means. If
yeah,
we could explain
yeah.
that
So
here.
no, upward movement is going up, meaning movement cap amunt, right? Upward is cap amunt. Up
So
means
up,
amunt. Yeah,
down, yeah. Up.
exactly. So up means amunt, and word means direcció, vers. We have word means vers, capa, direcció, vers amunt, cap amunt. So that's the idea of movement of upward. Okay. For example, we have the verb to stand up. Stand up, right? If I say, please stand up when the teacher enters the classroom, okay? The idea here is that you move from sitting to a higher position. So the nuance of up here is of a movement upward because you're moving from sitting to a higher position. If we look at to climb up, yeah, to climb up a ladder. If I say, for example, I climbed up the ladder to see better. Okay. Again, up has the idea of an upward movement. Yeah. I'm physically going higher. Okay. And again, we're going to learn now that the particle gives you the direction, and the main verb gives you the way that you carry out or execute that direction, that movement. So, for example, if we say to climb up the ladder, we're saying that we're going to go up, right? And how? What's the way? What's the manner that we go up? By climbing. Okay? So, if you can see, this is one way, if you really understand the logic of the particle. In this case, the particle gives the idea, gives the nuance, gives the meaning to the main verb of an upward movement. Then the main verb gives you the way that it happens, the manner that it happens. So, for example, if I say climb up the ladder or climb up the hill, yeah, a hill is a small mountain. Yeah, you have a mountain and you have a hill, which is a small mountain. So if I say we climbed up the hill, well, that means that we have a hill, a small mountain, and that we went up. How? By climbing. Okay. Can you think of any other verbs that we can use, main verbs, that would show us the way that we would be going up? Again, here the idea of up, of the particle up, is of moving up, of an upward movement. Can you maybe in the chat write any other phrasal verbs that you can invent in your head that would
So like we have here, we talk a generic, a very good Pau. Yes, walk
to
up.
walk up, for example.
Excellent.
If we say we walked up the stairs slowly, right, Pau? So we walked up the stairs slowly. That means that there's a movement up the stairs slowly, right? Not quickly, but how did we do it? By walking. Walking is the manner in which we did that upward movement. Very good. Yeah, drive up. And again, Pau, drive up. And Judith, for example, yesterday we drove up to the house. What does that mean? That the house was in a higher place, and we did the upward movement. How? By driving. We were in a car and we drove up to the house. Okay, that means that the house was at a higher place. And how did we get to the higher place? How did we get to where the house was? By driving.
Yeah. Okay? I see Judith, very good. Move up.
Move up. For example, when you when you decide to move up in your department or your section at work, move up has the idea of moving up. In this case, it's figurative in the sense that you're climbing, you're going up as far as different positions at work. Okay, for instance. Okay, and there's many. Can anyone think of any more? For example, to sit up. For example, if I say, "Hey, please, sit up," it means that. But Luigi, sit up, sitting. What? How can you sit up? Yes, you're sitting, but you're sitting kind of not in a very raised position. You're maybe like this, and when I say sit up, you sit up, meaning you rise to a higher sitting position. You're still sitting, but you're rising. You're going up. You're rising to a higher sitting position.
Very good, Paul.
Right up, exactly.
Right up. What other way?
Run up. You get like run up also.
Yeah. What other ways can we get up the mountain or get up, for example?
No, we run up the mountain. You can run up the mountain.
For example, run up the mountain anymore. So that I want to see that you're getting the idea. We need to find the way we can go up the mountain in different ways. So we can walk, we can run.
We can run up the mountain, walk up the mountain. For example,
jump up.
Yeah. For example, step up. When we talk about step up, for example, if I say step up carefully onto the platform is landana, yeah? The platform, step up carefully onto the platform. Okay, it means that you move to a higher level. Or, this is the idea. And how? By a step. Yeah, step is un paso, una pasa. A step, another step. That's how you move to a higher level. Okay? Or, for example, you push up. If I say, he pushed up the heavy box, right? Again, if you push up a heavy box, it means that you raise the box by applying force, by pushing, right? You're pushing the box up.
Okay. Yep. I think
we'll
get up. Sorry, I also mentioned get up before.
Yeah, when you get up from bed, again, you are lying on bed. And when you get up, it means that you raise your body, the movement, yeah? Pick up, for example. Can you pick up that book? Let's say the book is on the floor. Pick it up, please, meaning you're lifting, you're bringing the book from a lower position to a higher position. You pick it up.
Yep. Okay. Good. All right. So let's have a look at some more that we maybe not mentioned here.
Sure. Let's see what we have. Let's see.
We've done go up, climb up. We have not. That's a very
climb up. We've done. That was one of the first ones we did.
Right. So this one, run up, get up, jump up. They all have the same idea.
Yes.
Move up, stand up. Maybe here a little bit different. Walk up, pick up, sit up. Luigi, you have explained that.
Yes. Well, sit up is, for example, look at me now. If I'm sitting like this, and I say, "Hey, Luigi or Lou, sit up." I do this. Again, I'm rising to a higher sitting position. Both are sitting, but in this case, when you sit up, you're rising to a higher sitting position.
Yes, very good. Maria Giuseppe.
Maria Giuseppe, exactly.
Yes, very good. But here, your question takes us to the second meaning of particle up.
Yes, which is this idea of an increase or an improvement. In this case, in Maria Giuseppe's example of to speak up, okay? Again, here the up, instead of the particle up here giving the nuance or the idea to the main verb of an upward movement, it means here of an increase, right? When you speak up, it means that you are, again, speaking louder. Exactly, Maria Josep. So here, to speak up has the idea of an increase. It can also, with other verbs, have the idea of an improvement. If you look here, turn up the volume. Again, it's the same idea, Pau, Judith, Maria Josep, as in speak up. It means to make louder. It means to increase the volume. When we talk about to cheer up, okay? To cheer up. So cheer has the idea, up has the idea of improving the mood. Cheer has the idea of happy. Yeah? If you're cheerful, a cheerful person is a person who is happy. You're very cheerful. You're very happy. You're very merry. You're very, okay? So cheer up, again, up here has the idea of improving your mood, improving your emotional state. Yeah? Or if we talk about to speed up, which means to accelerate, right? To speed up, it means, again, up has the idea of an increase, in this case of speed. Speed means velocity. So speed up means increase velocity, to accelerate. Okay? So again, just to go over there are three that we're going over today. The first is this nuance that the particle up can give to the main verb of an upward movement. And now this second nuance, the second meaning that the particle up can give to the main verb, which is that of an increase or an improvement.
Any examples come up? Any phrasal verb that means to increase or to improve?
Well, I'll give you an example, Kaz. For example, heat up. For example, please heat up the soup. Heat up the soup means make it hotter, right? Again, up has the idea of an increase, and heat tells you what you're going to increase. In this case, you're going to increase the heat, so you're going to make it hotter.
Yeah. So let's have a look at more examples in this way.
Okay.
We've already done turn up, we've done cheer up, we've done speed up, and now heat up is to increase heat, that it's more hot.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. We also, I see on the list you have here build up. For instance, if we say she built up her strength, yeah, she built up her strength. It means her strength increased gradually. So the up here has this idea of an increase.
Yeah.
So if you have here, for example, warm up again, when you exercise, when you do sport, people say, hey, warm up before running, meaning increase the temperature of your body, increase that energy. So again, up here has the idea of an increase. When we say warm up before running, it means increase the temperature of your body, increase energy.
Lou, we have a question from Maria Josep. Cool up. Would that work in this context?
No, we would say cool down. When it comes to the body and doing sport, doing exercise, we would warm up the body before starting exercise, and then we would cool the body down. Okay? Because again, that's the logic. We would, after we do sport, then we cool the body down, we cool it down. Cool up in general, would cool up work in any circumstance? Off the top of my head, no, there's nothing where I would say cool up. If I think of something, I'll let you know, Maria Josep. But right now, no, I can't think of. Cool up is not one that we would use.
Okay. All right. Let's move to the next one, next meaning. Or would you like to?
No, there's just some more. I see here, save up.
Okay.
Here, there's save up. So, for example, save up. For instance, I'm saving up for the latest iPhone. I'm saving up for the phone. This means I'm accumulating gradually, meaning this idea of saving, right? That's the idea. The main verb gives you what you're going to do, and here we're talking about money. So you're accumulating, you're increasing the money that is being saved. Yeah, we have here, for example, brighten up. For example, if we were to say the room brightened up when the princess arrived to the room. I don't know. The room brightened up, meaning the room became, or the mood, or the room became more cheerful, happier, brighter. Again, up here has this idea of an improvement. Okay, and what we fill up the glass, for example. Okay, here up could be this idea of increase because you're increasing the volume of liquid in the glass, or it could be the next meaning, which is this idea of completion, meaning totally, completely. Let's see. Maria Josep says the air conditioning. The air condition would cool down, or cool, just simply cool things, or cool things down. It would not be able to cool up things. In general, I cannot think of any situation. Are there any situations where we would use the phrasal verb cool up? Right now, I'm trying to think of situations, and I can't think of any where I would use cool up. Again, cool up would not be a standard phrasal verb in English. Unlike cool down, which again means Maria Josep, to lower temperature, or you could also use cool down to mean to relax. And so, as a native speaker, we don't. I've never used cool up. Again, cool down, yes, but cool up, no. Now, if ever I become a famous writer in English, maybe I'll decide to use the phrasal verb cool up. And for example, I'll say, hey, why don't you cool up the soup? And maybe people will like it and start using it, but no. Cool up isn't.
I see, Lou, that Pau is inviting us to number 3.
Okay. Excellent. So now no, thank you. Because again, this idea of fill up, or as Pau said, clean up. This fits the next nuance, the next meaning, the next idea that the particle up gives to the main verb, which is this idea of ending or of completion. When we say completion, we mean completely, totally. So, for example, if we talk about here, you said to clean up the room. Well, that would mean the idea is already said by the main verb. That has a lot of information. That's the way, the manner you clean. Now, up has the idea that you do it totally, meaning the room will be completely clean. Nothing, everything in order. Nothing out of order. Clean it up. Okay? The same as eat up your food, which means that, again, the main verb gives you the manner, the way, which is by eating, and the up gives you the idea that is completely. So when you eat up your food, it means that you finish your food completely. Excuse me. If you drink up the beer, drink it up. It means that you drink it completely. You finish it completely. There's no beer in the mug or in the glass. Okay. When we talk about use up the milk, okay. Well, Luigi, can't you say use the milk, like use the eggs to make the omelet? Yes, but when you use up the milk or you use up the eggs to make the omelet, it's clear that you're using all of it. You're consuming all of it completely. So again, let me give you this example. For example, when we talk about an omelet, yeah. By the way, in English, if you ever want the thick type that is very typical here, we don't call that an omelet. We call that a frittata. So unless you call it a Spanish omelet, people who have traveled will understand. Oh, a Spanish omelet, the thick kind. But in general, in the UK and the US, if you want something thick, we call that a frittata. For example, a potato and onion frittata. But anyway, going back to the using up of eggs. To make the omelet, I used up the eggs. That means that I used all of them. I consumed, I made use of all the eggs to make that omelet. Okay? Which is different from I used the eggs. It could be that you used them all or not. Okay?
Lou, we have a question from Pau.
Yeah.
If you can say clean up in the meaning of improving the cleaning.
Improving, no, because up when it comes with clean, it means the idea of completion. Now, in a figurative sense, for example, if we say, hey, please clean up your act. Act here has to do with your behavior, your actions. So if you say to your parent and you say to a child or you're a teacher and you tell your student, hey, clean up your act, meaning improve your actions, improve your behavior. But that would be in a figurative sense where we're not physically cleaning a space, in which case it would mean to clean completely. This would be in a figurative sense where you are improving your behavior. Clean up your acts, meaning improve your behavior, your actions. Good question, Pal. Thank you.
All right, so let's
clear up the mess. Again, it's the same thing as Pau said, clean up a room. When you clear up a mess, it means that there is absolutely no mess. We clear it up completely. There's no disorder. There's no mess.
So let's look at some phrasal verbs that have the idea of completion and ending. So here we've talked about eat up, use up, clear up, clean up. And then also we like you eat up, which is finish eating, drink up, you finish drinking.
Exactly. You have, for example, connected to clean up is tidy up. For example, tidy up your room. It means to organize fully, right? To tidy, when you tidy things, you organize, you put things in order. So if I say, hey, tidy up your room, it means organize your room fully.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lock up. If you have, for example, hey, please make sure to lock up the shop. It means to secure completely, secure fully. Meaning the up has the idea of completely, fully, and lock has the idea of to secure, right? It's a lock. So you lock up the shop. Let's see. To wrap up. For example, hey, let's wrap up the lesson. Here, the up gives this idea of bringing the lesson to a full conclusion. Yeah? Let's wrap up the lesson. Let's bring the lesson to a complete or to a full conclusion. Okay? Let me see if there are any other verbs that we haven't touched on. For example, you could say break up. For example, my sister and her boyfriend broke up last week, right? They broke up last week. It means that they ended their relationship completely. So the up here has the idea of ending and ending completely. Okay.
Okay. Shall we practice a little bit? I mean, I would like to invite you guys to join us here. I know it's late. Please don't sleep yet. The first exercise that we would like to propose to you is to match the meaning with the phrasal verb. So we have the three meanings: upward movement, increase and improvement, completion and ending. So wrap up. Which one would it be? A, B, or C? Can you write it in the chat? Wrap up. A, B, or C?
Meaning, is it the particle up gives the idea of an upward movement, or gives the idea of an increase or an improvement, or gives this nuance of ending or of completion?
Yes, good job. Yes, C, completion and ending. Good job. Fantastic. 2, cheer up. Cheer up. Like cheerleader, a cheerleader. What does a cheerleader do?
For example, you see a friend, they're very sad. Oh, come on, cheer up. Cheer up.
Yeah, very good. Yes. To increase what?
It's not increase. Cheer up is not increase. It's improving.
Improvement. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're improving your emotional state.
Yes. So you are happier if you.
Exactly.
The idea is to become happier, right? Okay. Move up. Which one is it? A, B, or C? Move up.
Well done.
Yes. Upward movement. Excellent. Yes. Thank you, for participating. I know it's late, but super great. Yes, yes. Okay, use up.
For example, when I made the omelet, I used up the eggs.
Which one would it be? A, B, or C? Number 4. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's this idea of none consuming everything completely, fully.
Yes. Super. So 4C. 5, warm up. What would it be? Warm up.
Warm up is the idea of, remember, up here has the idea of increasing, because we're warming up. What are we increasing? We're increasing the heat, the warmth.
Yeah. So for example, you have food in the fridge and you put it in microwave or you put it in a pot. You warm it up.
Temperature.
Increase temperature. Yes, very good. Thank you. Yes, and the last one, stand up. Which one would it be? Number 6, stand up. A, B, or C?
Stand up. For example, you're sitting down and you say, hey, please, everybody, stand up. Exactly.
Excellent, yes.
You're moving to a higher position. You're sitting and you're moving to a higher position. You're moving up.
Fantastic. Yay, good job, everyone. Super. Okay, so let's look at it from a different perspective. We have upward movement. Can you give me 3 examples? We're checking if you're sleeping.
Yeah, and checking if you can have retained some of these phrasal verbs.
Yes.
What are some phrasal verbs where the up gives the idea of an upward movement?
Yes. I think they're sleeping.
It is late. You're right. It is late. Yeah.
Come on. I'm sure there's someone who is not sleeping yet.
Again.
Yay.
Exactly.
Stand up, ride up, walk up, stand up. Fantastic. Go up, run up.
These all have the particle up, give the idea of an upward movement. Exactly. Well done.
Get up, move up, go up. Excellent. Yes, yes. That's excellent. Okay. And increase, improvement.
Yes.
The second one.
Exactly. Which phrasal verbs does the particle up give this idea of an increase or of an improvement?
Yes.
Yes. To warm up, you're increasing. Exactly. Heat up, save up. Very good. You're accumulating. When you save up money, you're accumulating, you're increasing the amount. Yeah. When you cheer up, exactly, you're improving your emotional state, you're becoming happier. Exactly. Well done. Well done. When you fill up, fill up could be increasing, or it could be that it's completion in the sense that you fill up the cup and meaning it's totally, completely. But it could be that you could also go with the idea of increase. Again, what's important, everyone, is that it makes sense to you. It has to make sense to you. So if for you to fill up a cup has the idea of increase, that's correct. Even if for me it's completion, or if for you it's completion, but other people think it's increase, that's okay. What's important is that you internalize the logic behind it and that it makes sense to you so that you use it correctly.
Excellent. Wonderful. And so the last one, completion and ending. Wrap up, clean up, drink up, break up. Yes. Use up.
Yes.
Very good. Clean up, clear up, fill up, drink up, use up, clean up. Yes. Does it feel good? You've got them. Yes. Congratulations.
By the way, as far as find up, Agusti, is not a normal phrasal verb in standard English. If ever you become a famous writer in English and you want to use the phrasal verb find up and in context give it a meaning, that's fine. But the idea why probably find up is not a phrasal verb is because find already means discover. Find already means to locate. So remember that the particle up usually adds the idea of an increase or of completion or of an upward movement. And none of these ideas fit naturally with the verb find. So this is why find up would not have really a clear logical meaning for us native speakers in English. Okay, but again, Agusti, if you become a famous writer and express yourself in English, and you sell many books, and people might start using find up if you use that invented phrasal verb.
Okay. All right. Good. So let's move on to particle down. As you remember, we have here pairs. So up, and then we have down. So if you remember the first meaning of up was upward movement, right? So here we have downward movement.
So again, the reason why there's no need to memorize the verbs is because when you use these pairs, you know if you climb, if you, for example, walk up to the house, because the house is on a higher level and you're walking up to the house, if the house is at a lower level, you can then walk down to the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have you have a mountain or a hill, which is a small mountain, and you climb up the mountain or you walk up the mountain, once up here, when you want to descend, you just walk down the mountain or climb down the mountain.
So when we talked about particle up, we had upward movement. So with down is the opposite, downward movement. The second one, remember what it was if it comes to up?
It was an increase, right? We said that one of the nuances, one of the meanings that the particle up can give to the main verb is that of an increase. So if we have down, if up meant increase, then down means what? A decrease, a reduction.
Yeah, so it's the opposite. If there's like turn up the volume, so here you would go turn down the volume.
So your mind is not occupied with so much, because you're finding out the logic behind the particle and the logic behind, or rather, you're finding the different nuances, the different meanings that the particle gives to the main verb, and therefore are discovering the logic behind phrasal verbs in English. You don't need to memorize, you don't need to occupy your mind space with lots of things. You just, that's okay, the logic. So you stay with that, which takes less space in your mind. So you just logically then, okay, go up the mountain, or sorry, turn up the volume, turn down the volume. And last, with up, we had this idea of completion. Yeah, completely, totally. Well, guess what? With the particle down, one of the nuances, one of the meanings that the particle down can give to the main verb is also of completion, of completely, of totally.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting, this part.
By the way, going back to, I see that Pau went back to this idea of find up. Again, like I said, the reason why we don't have this phrasal verb in English, find up, and why it doesn't exist, is because already the verb find has a lot of information. It means to discover or to locate. So it's just not something that naturally would go together. Okay, but again, if we can invent phrasal verbs. If you become a very famous writer in English, like for example Shakespeare, he invented thousands of words that we use today that before Shakespeare we didn't use.
All right. So let's have a look at the first downward movement.
Okay, so here, for example, we have to sit down. Again, sit down means to move your body lower. Okay, down has the idea of a downward movement. We have here fall down the stairs. So you have the stairs, yeah, and you fall down. So you're physically, okay, it's a downward movement, motion rather, because you're falling down the stairs. Okay.
Yeah, so let's look at the phrasal verbs that we had before. So, and do you remember our example of going up the mountain? So here we're going to be going down the mountain. And so when we have walk up the mountain, we can walk down the mountain. We can
If you ride up the hill, the small mountain, you ride up the hill. You can also ride down the hill.
Exactly. Move up, move down. Run up, run down. Step up, step down. Push up, push down. Is this clear?
Now, for example, you have things like pick up. Now, we would not say pick down. Again, why? Because again, to pick has the idea of to choose, to take, or to lift. When you pick, this idea of colher has the idea of lifting, alçar. So it's not something that will be logical in English. Because again, as pick already, the idea of pick, of colher, has already the idea of collect, of to lift, alçar. So this is why we would not say pick down. It doesn't. It's not logical. It's not natural, because it would be a very unnatural meaning.
Yeah. So here, the same. Sorry. Let's look at the phrasal verbs. I think we mentioned leave down would be the opposite. Leave down.
For example, I think, is it Maria Josep is talking about, for example, stand down.
Stand down.
Stand down. Could that be a phrasal verb? Okay. Now, stand down is a phrasal verb in English, but Maria Giuseppe, it has a very specific non-physical meaning. Okay, so very quick. I'll try to explain to you what stand down means. When you stand down, it means that you stop acting. It means that you withdraw from duty. To withdraw means retirarse. You withdraw from duty. You stop being ready. Okay, it's not the opposite of to stand up physically. Okay, because again, when you stand down, it doesn't have a literal physical meaning. It's more figurative. Okay, for example, if I were to say the soldier, the general, the military person was told to stand down. What that means is that that military person was told to stop being on alert. He was told to stop to stop their duty. Okay, so here the nuance or the idea of down is to reduce activity or to stop the action. Okay, it's not so physical. Okay, so just wanted to just let you know that about standing down. It does exist, but it would have a different meaning. It's not the opposite of standing up. Okay.
All right. So we have here the second meaning of particle down, where we talked about turning up the volume. Here we're turning it down, right? We're talking about cheering up. Here we're going to slow down. It means decrease, right?
Right. Well, yes. So, for example, if slow down means to reduce speed, then what was the one that meant to increase speed? To speed up. So the down has the idea of reduction, just like up has the idea of increase. Speed up, speed has the idea of velocity, and slow has the idea of not fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at different examples here.
Can you go back? Because
sure,
there was one about cut down on sugar. We reduce consumption. In this case, reduce the consumption of sugar. So when we cut down on something, it means that we reduce the quantity, and so or we reduce the consumption. You cut, right? So down. So what? Down has the idea of reduction, and how do we reduce? How do we lower? How do we decrease? By cutting. In this case, it's not cutting literally with scissors, but rather that we eliminate it, or we cut it. We don't continue with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we have some examples of this idea of decreasing and reduction, decrease and reduction.
Calm down. So calm down. Hey, please calm down. It's okay. Meaning down here means, hey, reduced intensity of emotion. Calm down. Or cool down. For example, cool down the soup. Again, down here has the idea of reducing temperature. When we talk about tone down, meaning tone down your comments. You make lots of comments. They're comments that are very rude and not very nice. They're comments that are insulting. So we say, hey, tone down your comments, meaning reduce the force or the extremity of your words, of your comments. We have here scale down. So, for example, we have to scale down the project. The nuance of down here is reduce size or reduce the scope. Yeah. So we have, for example, water down. Don't water down the orange juice, meaning don't reduce the concentration or the strength of the orange juice. Okay, bring down. For example, the shop brought down the price, meaning they reduced the price, they reduced the number, or they reduced the level. Okay, when we talk about, for example, narrow down, okay, we narrowed down the list. Okay, here means that we reduced the options. We had a list of different possibilities and we narrowed down the list, meaning we reduced the options. Okay, we have to die down. For example, the wind. Let's say there's a storm outside, and the wind died down. In other words, the wind reduced in intensity. And I see here wind down. This is the verb to wind down, not to wind down, to wind down. Um, so if to wind down is like the Germanic way of saying to relax. We have two verbs, the Latin way to relax and the more Germanic English way to wind down. So to wind down means to reduce activity gradually. If we say, hey, let's wind down after work, it means let's relax after work. Again, wind is a verb that has the idea of to make tense, has the idea of tiba. Usually when you wind, it has this idea of you're making tense by this movement. So when you wind down, it means that you're reducing that tension, tibanto, that tension, you're reducing it. That's why when we say, hey, it's time to wind down, it means it's time to relax.
Good. All right, and we come to the last nuance for today.
This idea of completion. When we say completion, we mean completely, totally, or eventing, or stopping. Again, down here has this idea of stop, of finish, or of ending completely. So this is a type of nuance of meaning that down can also give to the main verb. To break down. So here, when a car breaks down or a machine breaks down, it stops working. Yeah, the car broke down, meaning the car stopped functioning. Down has the idea of stop functioning, stop working. Close down. For example, a business that closes down, it means that they end business operations forever. So again, it's important to know the difference, because if we say, hey, the shop's closed, it means that yes, it's closed, but it will open the following day. It will open their doors the following day. If we say the shop's closed down, it means it's closed and it's not going to open the following day nor the day after that. Right? It has this idea of ending business operations.
Okay. So shall we look at some examples here?
Yeah, sure. yeah, we talked about, yes, this idea of breaking down, of closing down, this idea of settling down. So if we were to say, he settled down after moving to Barcelona, it means here that he reached stability. He stopped moving. To settle has the idea of to install oneself. Yeah. When you settle, you install yourself, you establish yourself. And down has this idea of stability, of not moving, stopping movement. So it has this idea of stability. We have to melt down. So, if, for example, if I were to say the chocolate melted down, it means that the chocolate transformed completely into a liquid. It melted down. How did it? Um, how did it completely transform? Through melting, so it turned into a liquid. Okay. To go down, for example, if I said the sun went down, yeah, it, here down has the idea of completely like a downward movement here, but it would be what went down. Well, here would be a downward movement and completely a complete downward movement. Burned down, the house burnt down. So the house was destroyed completely by fire, right? If down has the idea of completely, and burn has the way, the manner is through fire, right? So again, the house burnt down has this idea of that it was destroyed completely by fire. To wash down, for example, if I say, wash down the table, well, down here has the idea of completion, of completely, and to wash down means to clean completely. Now, because it's wash, what are we going to use to clean completely? Water. So wash down the table means to clean completely the table using water. And wipe down. So wipe down, if we were to say something like, um, wipe down the kitchen work surface. Okay, the kitchen work surface is the kitchen counter. Yeah. So wipe it down. It means again clean completely, right? Because down has this idea of completion, of totally, completely, and wipe is the manner, the way. So you clean completely by wiping. Wiping is this movement. Yeah, when you this is to wipe.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lou. So let's practice a little bit. Pao has a question.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, Bao. Bao asks, in when the particle up or down gives this nuance, gives this meaning of completion, are up and down the same? They are as far as the idea that they transmit, but they're not the same as to with which verbs you can use down and with which verbs you can use up. For example, if I were to say wipe down the table, it's wipe down the table. It's not wipe up the table. So it's not interchangeable. So up and down are not interchangeable, okay? But they both can give the main verb the idea, the nuance, the meaning of completely, of totally, okay? Now, how do we know if it's up or it's down? Well, again, it depends on the verb. The verb, the main verb, I mean, will dictate, will tell you if the idea of completion is with the particle up or it's with the particle down. Okay, so yes, both up and down can give the idea of completion, but they're not interchangeable. You cannot say, "Hey, please wash up the wipe up the kitchen work surface." You have to say, "Wipe down the kitchen surface."
Okay. All right, let's go to our practice part where we have the 3 meanings of particle down. And as we did before, we would like you to match them, the phrasal verbs, to the meanings. So, shut down. Which meaning would it have here? Shut down. A, B, or C?
For example, let me give you an example of a context. So, for example, shut down your computer, please. We need to shut down the computer. It's the end of the day, so please shut down your computer. Again, shut down your computer. Here would be this idea of completely stopping it, stop working. I mean, completely close it. So it would have this idea of completion.
An ending, yeah. Yeah.
By the way, someone asked about how do you express the idea in English of the mulher, the shana. Okay, for that idea of the shana of a mulher, we would say to let go. Yeah, to let go.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's very similar to Catalan dishana, eh? To dishana, to disha, let, ana, go. So that's interesting. It's very, you see, English and Catalan, their mentality is very similar. Even though they're very different, the mentality is very similar between the two languages. To let go, this idea of dishana, amulya, we say to let go.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Calm down. What would it be?
Calm down. Yes. Again, this idea of if I were to say, for example, hey, please calm down. It's okay. Don't worry. Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're reducing the intensity of that emotion, of course.
Excellent. Yes, good job. Fantastic. Yes, yes. Sit down. Number 3. Sit down.
This one's quite logical because you're talking about if you're in an upright position and you sit down, so you're sitting. So we're talking about this idea of a movement downwards. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Good. Cut down.
Again, let me give you context so you understand better the idea of cut down. When you cut down on, I used to smoke every day. Now I've cut down on smoking, so I don't smoke every day. Yeah, it has the idea of reducing, in this case, reducing quantity. Well done.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, break down. Number 5. Break down.
The car broke down.
A machine
Or
broke
machine.
down.
Exactly.
Very good. Yes. Yes. See, completion and or ending of the action.
Ending, stopping. Exactly.
Stopping. Exactly. Yes. Excellent. And fall down, the last one.
Now, people might say, well, fall down, doesn't already fall have the idea of down? Yes, it does. But again, the function, or rather the down, is the part of the verb that tells you of the movement. The fall tells you the way that the downward movement happened. So even though you might think, oh, fall, caure. Already caure means cap avall. I mean, if it's caure, it's direction avall. Yes, but the down gives you the idea of direction, cap avall, and fall tells you the way, the manner. How did the person go cap avall? By a caiguda, through a fall.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so let's turn it around now. And I would ask you to give me examples for movement downwards. Let's wrap up and put it together what we've done today. Movement downwards.
For sure, sit down would be one. And the one I just gave, fall down. Fall down would also be another one of those of movement downwards.
Yes. Yeah. Fall down, look down, put down. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Fall down, I imagine. Climb down.
Fall down, yes.
Go down, write down, fall down. Excellent.
And Muncha, put down can have a literal sense. Put down meaning you have it and you put it down physically, right, from a higher position to a lower position. It could also have a figurative meaning of putting a person down or putting down a person, which is to insult and belittle a person. Belittle means meisteni. Yeah. So put down is very interesting because it can have a more literal meaning, like a physical, rather more physical meaning, and the more figurative meaning.
Yeah. Maria Giuseppe asks if put down can mean ending. Yes. But in a very specific...
Yes, it can. When, for example, an animal, when you have to put down an animal because they're not well and they're very old or they're suffering, and you need to sacrifice the animal. So we have the Latin word sacrifice, and we have the Germanic, we have the Latin verb to sacrifice, and we have the Germanic verb to put down, to put an animal down. So yes, it can, in that sense, when you put an animal down because they're suffering and they need to not suffer anymore, then down has the idea of ending in this circumstance.
Yeah. And put down the phone.
That'll be physical. That'll be physical. That's what I was telling to Munsa, that put down can be physical, like you put something down, like you have the phone in your hand and you put it down. Or it can mean when you put down a person, which would be to insult them, to belittle. To belittle a person means to meisteni, yeah, to put down a person. Okay, different from putting down an animal. Okay, because if we put down an animal, then it means that we sacrifice them because they're suffering and we have to, put them down.
Okay. All right. Everyone, great job. You did.
No, Maria Josep, if you put down the phone, it wouldn't necessarily mean ending communication. Of course, the result would be, if you put down the phone, once you're talking, well, I'm going to just put down the phone. I'm sorry, I don't want to speak to you anymore. I'm putting down the phone. I mean, the result would be ending the communication. But no, it does not mean ending the communication. It just means that you are not going to keep the phone next to your ear. You're putting it down. Okay? And the result is that you end the conversation. Yeah.
All right. Everyone, great job. Molt bona feina, eh? Doncs ara ja entens la lògica dels phrasal verbs d'aquests dos, que hem explicat.
There are many more. Many more.
Yeah. Sí. many more meanings
Of course.
and many more particles.
Exactly.
Yes. Ok, so que ara volem fer és presentar el nostre curs que hem fet, que hem preparat amb aquesta idea d'explicar la lògica de cada particle. Particles. I que, com veieu, els phrasal verbs no són difícils. Només heu de mirar-ho que necessitem aquí el mètode adequat, no? Doncs el nostre curs que tenim, el curs que hem preparat són 20 modules. Cada mòdul és un particle, gairebé. One particle per module. Hi ha uns par de mòduls que mirem una mica, per exemple, l'ordre de particle, no? Si
On col·locar, exacte, un toca col·locar la partícula. Es pot sempre anar junts amb el verb principal o es pot posar o es pot separar. També
per exemple, turn the lights off o turn off the lights.
N'hi ha que permeten que hi vagi junts o separats. I n'hi ha d'altres que no, que cal que sempre vagin junts o que no...
Doncs, en general, cada mòdul és one particle, però també toquem el tema d'ordre, on fiquem les particles, no? I també parlem d'uns phrasal verbs que tenen two particles. Això és una cosa que és diferent. L'altres mòduls és un mòdul, one particle. També en cada mòdul tenim worksheets, tenim videos, quizzes and a certificate of completion. So, every module, com ho tenim? Primer expliquem the particle. Després la practiquem. Tenim a worksheet per practicar aquest particle. Tenim, en cada mòdul tenim 3 quizzes and answers, of course. So you have an idea. Podeu treballar amb mòbil, laptop o també els fulls que podeu imprimir. Sorry for my Catalan, Ok, doncs si voleu mirar el curs i començar ja, doncs podeu accedir al curs en qualsevol moment. Ara us compartirem l'enllaç. Només avui, que és un preu molt especial i molt baix, només per als participants d'avui, que són 39 euros, i ho tindrem una horeta més.
I és tot el curs, tots els mòduls, totes les fitxes...
Només avui, aquest preu. Ara us compartirem l'enllaç perquè si voleu mirar. I què més? En el curs, en el preu de 39 euros, teniu el curs complet, de 20 modules, worksheets, quizzes, the bonuses of today, which I'm going to share with you right now. Files here. Aquí teniu el bonus d'avui, que són una worksheet amb 20 most common phrasal verbs, que també així podeu veure com tenim els worksheets organitzats. Tots. I ara compartim la nostra oferta d'avui, molt especial. Publish. Espero que ho podeu veure, que està en el chat, la nostra oferta d'avui. Doncs, per entrar, cliqueu en l'enllaç i és molt senzill. I podeu començar en qualsevol moment. Teniu alguna pregunta?
Preguntes? Teniu preguntes?
We're here. We have time. Any questions?
Okay.
Volem dir que aquesta oferta és només fins les 12 de la nit. Demà el preu canviarà. És molt fàcil d'entrar, de començar. I res més, que volem dir thank you for your time. We're still here if you have any questions. We hope you've learned a lot today and you had fun and understanding the logic.
Which is very important because phrasal verbs are not difficult if you understand the logic.
Yes. How many hours?
Well, imagine we're talking about, no, I mean, we're talking about each module has maybe 2 videos that are maybe 15 minutes each, 10 to 15 minutes each. So each module has a video, probably 20 to 30 minutes.
I think
of
each
explanation.
module is about 25 minutes.
Yeah, of video, of talk,
video.
video.
So times 20.
And then you add all the worksheets and things. So we're talking about, you could do a video. If you did a video a day, for example, would be 15-minute video.
Normally, the first video, when we explain it's about 8 to 10 minutes. Then the practice part, where we ask you to, like a little bit today, to give answers, to shadow, it's about 15 minutes. Then the worksheet, if it's probably of your work, you should probably spend 15 minutes on the worksheet, more or less. And 3 quizzes, probably another 15 minutes of work for you.
Again, Judith, the videos are not 1 hour. We're talking about we go nem dret al fet, dret al gra, in a way that is very easy to understand. So you're not going to be watching a video for 1 hour.
No. 8 minutes, 15 minutes.
Each video is around, yeah. So we're talking about each module, maybe 25 minutes, because there's usually 2 videos, 2 lessons within each module.
Agustí, no pateixis, que ara quan acabem us enviarem a la gravació d'avui i vosaltres tranquil·lament podeu mirar un altre cop i qualsevol pregunta teniu el nostre email aquí.
And Maria Josep, of course, you can ask about a phrasal verb. Cap problema, Pots demanar qualsevol coseta sobre qualsevol phrasal verb. I mirarem de donar-te resposta. Si vols escriure la pregunta sobre quin phrasal verb,
Thank you. Pete.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. It's been pleasure having you. And any questions, you know our email, okay?
I think Maria Josep has a question on the phrasal verb to play up. let me see what it says here. My knee is playing me up. Okay. Now, the verb to play up is a phrasal verb, okay? And we can say, my knee is playing up, but we cannot say, my knee is playing me up, okay? What does the phrasal verb play up mean? It means to cause problems, to not work or function properly. So we would not say, Maria Josep, my knee is playing me up. We would say, my knee is playing up, meaning my knee is causing problems. My knee is not working properly. Okay? So that would be the meaning of my knee is playing up. And what does up mean in this idea? I would think play up. I think here up has the idea of increasing activity, increasing intensity, because when the knee it gets so intense, so the increase of activity, it doesn't work properly because you're abusing it. So this is what I think up here. My knee is playing up. That's what it would mean. Okay.
I see we have questions here for Nana. Are you writing in private? So only I see it, Nana. But again, as we said, the course is 20 modules. In every module has 2 videos. The first one is around 8 minutes. The second one, it's around 15 minutes.
Sí, Nana, se puede hacer a poco porque cada module tiene como 2 vídeos. Cada vídeo dura unos 10 minutos, 15 minutos como mucho. Es decir, lo que haces es, empiezas un día, por ejemplo, mira, hoy quiero dedicarme y te dedicas, no sé, 20 minutos a ello. Y ahí, bueno, puedes empezar donde quieras y cuando quieras. Lo lógico sería empezar con Module 1, Module 2, pero si quieres empezar con Module 13, you start with Module 13, cap problema.
And no hi ha límit. Si trigues 3 mesos o un any o una setmana, tens un accés limitat. Doncs no has de córrer.
Sí, és per aquesta raó que tenim Fluent English, perquè hi ha aquesta demanda de cursos, no tan sols cursos que puguis fer, com has dit, quan puguis, és a dir, perquè t'hi puguis organitzar i dedicar-hi temps, i no haver d'anar físicament a una acadèmia, per exemple. És per aquesta raó que hi ha aquesta part que és Fluent English. I així és, ok, avui vull dedicar-hi 20 minutets. Pum, comences el vídeo, escoltes l'explicació, fas les fitxes i finished.
I també una cosa que pots fer, Nana, és que ho fas a poc, que primer video number 1, després video number 2, després com un repàs fas la fitxa, després un altre dia com un altre repàs fas els quizzes, com deures, saps? Quan si fas així, cada dia fas consolidació, perquè el curs està programat així, estructurat, que tot està connectat. És a dir, doncs, quan fas un mòdul, afegeixes informació. També hi ha un espai que tu pots fer shadowing. Shadowing és que repeteixes després de nosaltres perquè puguis aprendre, per exemple, l'ordre de la...
Sí, en els vídeos hi ha aquesta part de shadowing que és molt útil, que és el vídeo, diem una cosa i has de repetir. És a dir, donem alguns segons perquè puguis o repetir o, per exemple, donar la resposta a allò que demanem en aquell moment. I és una manera de repassar, és a dir, el fet important quan estudies qualsevol cosa és poder fer-ho a poc, o com a mínim no dedicar-hi gaire temps. És a dir, val més dedicar-hi 20 minutets cada 2 dies que no pas 2 hores durant un sol dia. Per què? Perquè el cervell, perquè faci the connections with the synapses, és aquella informació, hi ha aquella connexió, i fas més connexions quan you divide and split i no ho fas tot 2 hores seguides. Okay? So, that will also help to consolidate and to retain the information.
All right.
There's something here about telephone. No, okay, you have it.
Yeah. I've already put the number.
Okay.
I've put the email address. We've sent you different emails, and in the email you can always respond to the emails you've received. They go.
Tots els missatges electrònics que us enviem, podeu respondre a aquests missatges. No és una...
És que veig que hi ha algunes persones que ja han parlat per correu.
D'acord. Sí. Que no és un robot, és a dir, que si respons un missatge electrònic, en rebràs resposta. Excuse me.
Okay.
All right. Have a wonderful night and have a wonderful Friday and weekend.
Assumpta, quin link vols?
No, the link, the offer. You go to offer.
Sí.
Hi ha ofertes o offer.
En el chat tens l'apartat de chat i l'oferta. Nosaltres, Luigi, tenim un altre view, eh?
Sí, però no sé si és en anglès. Poder és en anglès, Assumpte. Offers. No sé si és en català o en anglès, Però si és en anglès, offers.
Remove offer. Start offer again. Publish. A veure si ara ho veus, Nana. Ok. Ho veieu, el llaç, ara?
Per trobar l'oferta és pitjar a la, no sé com en diem, la pestanya, no sé com, l'icona aquella, the offers, i allà hi trobareu.
Un moment, public checkout copy. També ho puc posar com un enllaç directe, si no ho veieu. To book it.
Aquí teniu l'enllaç directe, és a dir, aquí el xat. És llarg.
Podeu entrar? Okay.
Super. Perfecte, Assumpte.
Thank you for your confirmation. Okay. Any questions? Després enviarem el vídeo de masterclass, si voleu veure un altre cop, les explicacions. També enviarem en enllaç per correu al curs. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Remember, you can contact us by email. We also put here our phone number. And thank you for your participation and have a good night. Bye-bye.